Hello fellow Tiger Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are in an unusual tank. Yes, we are in the Chinese Tier 8 premium tank 112. You don't see a lot of these tanks on the battlefield nowadays. Not at all. And with all the power creep in World of Tanks and all those overpowered premiums at Tier 8, this tank has become forgotten, really. And Wargaming hasn't done absolutely anything with respect to bumping this tank's stats, especially when it comes to shell penetration or standard shell penetration. And I don't understand why this tank, as well as IS-6, which is another forgotten tank in the Russian tech tree, I don't understand why these tanks have been abandoned. I mean, these two tanks, both IS-6 and 112, have been one of the originals in this game, and their stats have never changed as far as I'm concerned. So why haven't they? Why are these tanks treated the way they're treated by Wargaming? That is the question that is really hard for me to answer. I would assume the only people that have these tanks would be players that have been in this game for a long time, 4 or 5 years, because nowadays no one is going to purchase those tanks. There's just no point. Now, I don't know, this may be just conspiracy theory on my part, but I would think that the reason why Wargaming is not bumping stats on these tanks is because they concentrate on brand new shit, what they put into the game, what they think is brand new, hopefully not reskinned. They're concentrated on new players coming into the game. They don't give rat's ass about us 4 or 5 year veterans. Do you think they do? If you think they do, you're delusional. Who cares about these guys, right? Who cares that we've put in hundreds, even thousands of dollars in this game, right? Who gives a shit about these guys, correct? I don't know, guys. Maybe this video is gonna be a bit of a rant. Sometimes it's just good to put out a little bit of salt and just get stuff off your chest. And I think that's what this video is gonna do for me in this situation, to be honest. But I'm generally really pissed off about this. And in reality, Wargaming's inactivity to try to fix those things in a game is what's making me really peeled about this stuff. Because I wouldn't mind pulling out my 112 or my IS-6 more often, but what's the point where I can pull out a defender? Actually, when you're looking at IS-6 stats, its premium shell penetration is lower than the defender's standard shell penetration. I think defender's standard shell penetration is over 220 millimeters, while IS-6 premium penetration is at 217, which makes this tank completely irrelevant to play nowadays. Absolutely. Now with 112, it's a little bit different. This tank is a heat spammer, and what you see in this game is heat spam like there's no tomorrow. Yes, absolutely, and I have no plans to stop spamming heat in this tank in the near future. And my reasoning behind this is, if you don't want to buff this tank, I'm gonna load heat into this tank and spam the shit out of it. Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and no one can stop me from doing it. And actually, this tank with heat ammo is quite relevant because heat shells have a penetration of 250 millimeters, while the standard AP rounds are only 175. Can you imagine? 175 millimeters. The same goes for IS-6, exact same penetration. Now, I don't understand theory behind this, and I will never fully understand. But another classic tank, which is in the American tech tree, the T-26E4, or Freedom. That tank initially, I think, had a penetration similar to both IS-6 and 112, but in one of the latest updates, that penetration was buffed to 192 or 194, something of that nature. Anyway, the standard penetration of it right now, it's over 190 millimeters. So why does the T-26E4 penetration gets buffed, yet both IS-6 and 112 suffer from the same fate, and buffs are not coming, and I haven't seen any mention of the buffs to those two tanks? So that is really mind-boggling, and I do not understand why Wargaming is not gonna create a platform where these tanks are relevant again, because we really need them relevant, especially people that have them. And those tanks are sitting in a garage. They're currently collecting dust. They're not being played. Anyway, enough of my rant. I hope Wargaming will really consider giving buffs to both 112 and IS-6 and create some balance in the premium world. Stop concentrating on balancing tanks that are too good, because there are way too many of them nowadays. Start concentrating on tanks that are bad, like these two premium tanks. And people that spend money on these tanks deserve better. I still pull this tank out every once in a while, just because of preferential matchmaking and the fact that, you know, the turret armor on this tank is absolutely fantastic, so it can bounce quite a bit of stuff coming from the opposition. But that gun and accuracy on that gun is so horrible that if you would load standard shell at 175mm and you're facing IS-3, you're facing the Defender, you're facing 110 even, or German super heavies, good luck penetrating those tanks with 175mm of penetration. It's just not happening. You might get lucky every once in a while, but good luck. And especially with the accuracy of this gun, you need to make sure you penetrate your shots. So I still enjoy playing this tank. I pull it out every once in a while, because with a decent crew you can actually make it work to a certain degree. But every time I start with standard shells, I find myself loading premium ammo, because there's no other way you can play this tank, honestly. So as you already noticed, I managed to spam almost all of my heat rounds, which is just fantastic, and it's just a tier 8 game. Just a tier 8 game. Now, in some cases I probably didn't need heat rounds, but like I told you guys, I'm not gonna spare even one heat round. And simply because they're so inexpensive in this tank, it makes it relevant to play with heat rounds completely. Although this gun accuracy, it's less to be desired, I tell you that much. Anyway, I switched to standard rounds because I thought I could penetrate drive wheel of the Defender. Yeah, good luck doing that. So instead we're gonna try and penetrate him through the viewfinder, which is not going to happen. Probably turret ring would be my best bet here with standard shell, but even that I probably wouldn't be able to penetrate it. So my only option is shooting his cupola, and for that I probably did not need a heat round. I could probably pen it with standard round, but in today's world of tanks, you just don't know what's gonna happen, honestly, guys. Anyway, so far we had a relatively decent game. We could have probably juiced a little bit more out of that Defender, but unfortunately he decided to face us. So my friendlies pretty much feasted on him and not me. But we're gonna try to get to those last kills and see if we can get some shots into this yak ticker. He's still relatively full health. I'm probably not gonna get to this light tank. I'm just checking health bars of my friendlies to see where they are at, to see if there's anything I should be worried about. But I think we have this game in hand right now. So now imagine if I didn't use heat in this game against IS-3, I probably wouldn't be able to pen him. Against the ISM side, I could have probably used standard shells, so that should be alright. But frontally, for instance, facing this yak tiger, there's no way I'll be able to penetrate him, and this is going to be a perfect example. He's going to turn, and look at that, it's just going to bounce. I know I didn't hit his bottom plate, but even trying to hit his bottom plate, I don't know if I'll be able to penetrate him. So unfortunately he's paying attention to me, and again, late damage depends on how much health you have and whether the opposition is paying attention to you or not. In this case he was paying attention to me, and I tried to put a shell from long distance that wasn't fully aimed, and this tank shooting from long distance, it's just not gonna cut it. So there's no way you'll be able to do anything. With this tank you gotta get up close and personal and try shooting bottom plates or weak spots pretty much with your standard shells, or load your heat rounds and just shoot your opposition in the face wherever you can. Anyway guys, sorry for this bit of a rant, but I think it's been such a long time now and Wargaming is not doing anything about those tanks, so I'm hoping we need to push them a little bit harder. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out CloneGuy72 and Garadini. Links to their channels will be in the description section below. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, check it out.